Elias Draven had faced hostile takeovers, collapsing markets, and boardroom ambushes engineered by men twice his age and 10 times as ruthless. But none of those battles had ever made his hand tremble. The divorce papers did. He stared at his signature, bold, commanding, as though the ink itself believed the lie. As though the man behind it truly wanted to end a marriage that had not even had the chance to begin properly. Across the long mahogany table, Liana sat with her shoulders perfectly straight, fingers laced tightly in her lap. She looked composed, almost serene, but Elias knew her well enough to recognize the flicker of nerves in her eyes. Or perhaps he only hoped he still knew her. The lawyer cleared his throat politely, sliding the documents toward Liana. "All that's left is Mrs. Draven's signature," he said. Mrs. Draven. The name had once sounded like a promise. Today, it felt like a funeral bell. Liana reached for the pen. The soft whisper of metal on paper echoed in the silent office. Her hand hovered over the signature line, then stopped. Elias felt something twist low in his chest. Hope, fear, he wasn't sure he wanted either. "Is there a problem?" Samuel, Elias's attorney, asked. Liana took a slow breath. Her eyes rose, but not to Samuel's. They locked straight onto Elias. "There's something you should know," she said quietly. The room stilled. For a moment, Elias forgot how to breathe. Liana's voice carried a tremor, something fragile and uncharacteristically vulnerable. She was not a woman who spoke without intention. She calculated her words the way he calculated risk. "Samuel," Elias said without looking away from her, "give us a moment." The man gathered his folders with the speed of someone well accustomed to his client's tone. "Of course, I'll be just outside." The door clicked shut. Silence flooded the room like cold water. Elias leaned back in his chair, trying, and failing, to appear unaffected. "What is it, Liana?" She set the pen down with trembling fingers. "Before I sign anything, you deserve to hear something first. Something I should have told you a long time ago." A long time ago. The phrase sliced deeper than he expected. He clasped his hands together, letting out a breath. "You're not obligated to explain anything. You made your choice." That earned a sharp, pained laugh. "My choice, Elias. Every step I took was built around protecting you, protecting us. You think I wanted this?" Her sudden intensity pinned him still. He hadn't seen this fire from her in months. "What are you protecting me from?" he asked slowly. Liana's gaze dropped. Her throat bobbed as she swallowed. She opened her leather bag, and pulled out a folded envelope. It was old, torn at one edge, as though opened too quickly. Elias recognized the faint logo printed at the corner. The Crestfall Private Investigation Firm. His entire body went rigid. "You hired a PI." His voice was calm, deadly calm. "To investigate me?" "No," she said, shaking her head vehemently. "I hired them to investigate my family." Elias blinked, taken off guard. "Your family?" Liana pushed the envelope across the table. "Elias, what pushed us to this mess, is because I was keeping secrets. Not about you, about where I come from." He didn't reach for the envelope. He watched her instead. She took a breath, steadying herself. 6 months ago, I found out the truth about my mother. And the truth about who's been trying to sabotage your company." Elias froze. "Sabotage, Liana," he said quietly, "what are you talking about?" She finally forced herself to meet his stare. Her eyes glistened, but she refused to blink the tears away. "You've been wondering who fed the press those stories. Who leaked your merger plans? Who tried to tank the Ashbourne deal?" Elias's jaw clenched. "I assumed it was the board faction. Or my competitors." "It wasn't," she whispered. His heartbeat thudded hard enough to echo in his ears. Slowly, like he was reaching into fire, Elias opened the envelope. Inside were printed reports, photographs, and a final page with one damning line. "Primary suspect, Victoria Hale." He read it twice. Liana watched him, her breaths unsteady. Elias lifted his gaze. "Your mother, she isn't the woman I thought she was," Liana said, voice cracking. "And she wasn't trying to ruin you because of business. She did it because of me." A cold, hollow ache spread in Elias's chest. "Explain." Liana clasped her hands tightly. "When you and I started, she said I wasn't good enough for you. She said you were dangerous for our family, that you would throw me away eventually." Liana's eyes lowered. "When I fought her, she doubled down. Started looking into your life, your company. She found weak points and exploited them." Elias stared at her, barely able to process. "Why didn't you tell me?" "Because you already doubted me." Her voice was barely a whisper. You questioned whether I leaked those merger details. Whether I told reporters about your father's health. I saw it in your eyes. You didn't say it, but you thought it. Elias swallowed hard. He had thought it. In moments of frustration, in the middle of sleepless nights, when the scandals hit at the worst possible times, he had wondered. And when I realized my mother was behind everything, Liana continued, I confronted her. She told me I had two choices: leave you voluntarily, or she would destroy you completely. Elias felt something hot and furious ignite in his veins. So you chose to leave me. I chose to protect you, she whispered. He pushed his chair back abruptly. The sound echoed. You should have come to me. You should have trusted me. And risk you retaliating, risk you burning everything to the ground like you always do when someone attacks what's yours. Liana stood now, too. Elias, I know you. You wouldn't have just defended yourself, you would have destroyed her. He didn't deny it, he couldn't. Liana's voice softened. I watched you fight the world alone since the day we met. I wasn't going to let my family become another war you had to wage. Emotion twisted deep in his chest, frustration, grief, and something dangerously close to longing. So this divorce, Elias said carefully, was your solution. It was the only way to make her stop. Liana's chin trembled. Someone had to break the attack chain. I chose myself. Elias stared at her, really stared. Her trembling hands, her tired eyes, the weight she had carried completely alone. He exhaled slowly. Liana, he said, voice low, the only thing I cannot forgive is being shut out. Not betrayal, not mistakes, just not being allowed to fight for us. Her breath hitched. For the first time in months, hope flickered in her eyes. He reached down and pulled the divorce papers toward him. His signature stared back. Then, without hesitation, he tore the packet straight down the middle. The rip echoed like thunder. Liana gasped. Elias, we're not ending anything today. His voice held quiet finality. Not until I know everything. Not until we face this together. She pressed a trembling hand to her mouth, a tear slipping down her cheek. He stepped toward her. Now, he murmured, start from the beginning.